I believe career day is one of the best days you guys will have at middle school. You'll look back and you'll remember all the people sharing their multiple careers. You'll learn about different journeys. It's a really exciting time. My name is Zach Ballinger. I'm the author of the two books, Don't Be a Zombie, How to Find a Career You Love, as well as The Hot Seat, How to Meet the Challenge of a New Era in Job Interviewing. I'm a career consultant, I'm a podcast host, and I'm excited to spend the next few minutes talking to you guys about careers at a middle school level. And I'm going to share a career path as well, but I kind of want to give you guys some tips as you guys go through career day, how you can maximize your opportunity and find a career that you actually love to do. And believe it or not, you can start doing some steps even at your age now to perform and do well in your career. So, like I said, I'm a motivational speaker. I'm the author of The Hot Seat. And I think it's really important, you guys. I think it's fun. You guys get to ask people questions that are coming in today. You get to interact with people that are sharing their career stories. Ask lots of questions, learn from people, learn from professionals. You guys will end up really enjoying this day. The reason that South Ridge Middle School should care about their career, even at your age, sixth, seventh, eighth grade, is because in life, you only get one opportunity at it. And I've met so many people over the years that don't like their career. And I believe, and I always challenge them to look back when they were in middle school and what did you always dream about doing? As I coach adults in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s, I ask them the common question: what did you dream about being when you were in sixth and seventh grade? Take me back to your childhood. Look in the mirror. What did you always want to do? What were your talents? What were you good at? And I challenge these people because I believe it a lot of times it's in sixth and seventh and eighth grade that we know exactly what our passions are. We know what our strengths are, and we're not afraid to do them. And the whole idea about this is if you're passionate and you have purpose, you love what you do, you love your career, you're going to have a really happy life in the most time. You're going to find that financial freedom. Now, does that mean everybody's going to be a millionaire at whatever career they do? No. But what I've found to be the case is the people that really love their jobs and love their careers tend to make the more money. And you'll see that passion exude over in life. And that's why it's so key now to really learn more about your career. Some of you guys might be playing sports now. You might be playing basketball or hockey or soccer. And I really encourage you guys to keep doing that. That's a great way to exercise. It's a great way to work as a team. It prepares you for life. You're accomplishing a goal as a team. And so play as much sports as you want. Play those sports as long as you're balancing that out with school. But this was actually me at your age, 14 years old. And if you look at the picture, I always wanted to be an NBA basketball player. That was my dream. But if you look at me, you're probably saying, Zach, I don't think I see you as an NBA basketball player. I was 200 pounds at 14 years old. I'm actually about 200 pounds now. 5'10. I could barely jump 2 inches, but I thought I was going to guard Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal in the NBA basketball league. And that wasn't just happening for me. Sometimes when we grow up, we've got to separate our hobbies from our passions and our talents. And for me, basketball was a great example. It was a great sport, and I learned a lot in how to accomplish team goals. But at the end of the day, basketball wasn't my true career. And it's okay to play sports now and love them and embrace them. And I still love sports and I'm still passionate about it. Just realize sometimes that might not be an optimal career as you guys get older. What I found is, guys, traveling around, this is why we're talking about this at sixth and seventh and eighth grade, is that most Americans don't like their jobs. 7 out of 10 people you know currently are in a job that they don't like. And what happens is in this meme, in this model, you'll see the guy just running around this wheel, turning and turning and turning. And that's what happens to most Americans as they go out in their career field. What we do is we go to middle school, we learn about education, we learn English, math, the basics. We go into high school, we may decide to go to a career, we may decide to go to college, and we don't really spend a lot of this time on career development. We don't find out things. We don't ask questions. We don't learn about jobs and we just get stuck in it. And I've talked to people that have been stuck in the jobs for 20 or 30 years just because they started that job after high school. And so I really want you to start thinking about that. Start asking some of these questions. Start really engaging in Career Development Day. Guys, did you know there's 821 careers out there in North America? That might be shocking because I would say most Americans can't even name 30 careers. You think maybe of a teacher or a doctor or a lawyer or a cop or a firefighter, but there's actually 821 different career pathways in North America. If you guys don't know what career opportunities out there, then would you know that something might align with your strengths and your talents? So it's important to educate yourselves on what kind of careers are out there for you that align with your key your mission, your values, your core abilities, your strengths and your talents. And so take that time and learn about that careers. And how can you learn about careers? Well, guess what? You can go to ZachBallinger.com, ZACKBALLINGER, ZachBallinger.com. I host a podcast show where I bring people from all walks of life. We've almost got 100 episodes of different careers out there in North America. So if you've always wanted to be an electrical engineer, you've always wanted to be a family medicine doctor, you've wanted to be a veterinarian, you can go on and listen to these interviews and learn more about a career, learn about a day in their shoes. What do you have to be good at? What kind of education do you have to be the certain career? Learn about these careers at ZachBallinger.com. We're creating this library for all walks of life. And it can even start for you guys right now where you are in your classroom. If you're interested in a particular career and they don't have it on today's career day, look up in my library and see if you can find that particular career, learn more about it. And the more you learn about careers, the more opportunities are going to come your way. Right now, what can you do? You're sitting there in classroom. You're like, Zach, this is a long time away before I get a career. It's really not that long. But right now, you don't have to have everything figured out. That's what the great thing is about starting off right now. You're asking questions, you're learning things, you're being a student. I look back at my own school and I look back at grade school. I'm a terrible math student and I didn't pay attention very well. I never really applied myself to it. And later on in college, that really hurt me because I had to take some of those lower level math classes just to get up to speed. So when students in your age bracket, they say, what can I do now, Zach, to further my career, to advance my career? I'd say one of the things is study hard, develop good study habits, develop discipline. Don't procrastinate. Do assignments on time. Have them ready for your teachers. Do your homework. Homework is like an assignment for a job. It's like, can you get that done that night? And so make sure you're doing your homework. Be a good student and get good grades. It sounds like common sense, but as long as you apply yourself right now and you're learning all the stuff that's being thrown at you in the classroom and you're willing to work hard and apply yourself, that will best equip you for the best career in the future. So that's what I would encourage you to do today. You don't have to start a journal, but guys, just be thinking of some of these questions as you're going out there and you're talking to people and you're meeting people. Is ask yourself, what are you good at? What are your strengths? What are your abilities? What do you love to do? Are you passionate about video games? Are you passionate about how nature and hiking? Are you passionate about soccer? Find out what you're good at and your strengths are and learn more about yourself because the more you learn about yourself, the more you can apply it to real world things. And the second question I would ask you, what would you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do career wise? What do you like to do? What do you think you might like to do? And then the last question, if you ask yourself, is if money were no object, what would you be? And a lot of times you may find something. You may be say, I love cartoons. I love watching cartoons. Well, maybe that's a career in design. Maybe it's a career in architecture. Maybe it's a career in animation. So take these things, use these questions, and help it guide your thinking for your career. Even today, if you just do this exercise today, ask those three questions. What am I good at? Does this career align what I'm good at with? When I'm learn about this career, is this something I might want to grow up to be? And then finally, let's put aside the salary and the money right now. Would this be something you would want to do in your long term career? And ask yourself these questions as you go throughout career day. I always encourage students, even at your age, to do job shadowing or preceptorships. And what does that mean? So, let's say you really have a love for animals and you think you want to be a veterinarian when you grow up. Go out and find somebody. Ask your parents, ask your friends, ask your neighbors, who's a veterinarian that I know that might let me come in for a summer for a couple days and job shadow. Talk to your parents. There's lots of opportunities. Maybe you guys love a particular aspect in your classrooms. Maybe you're good at mathematics and you really enjoy math. Maybe you said, I've always wanted to be an engineer, but you don't really know what an engineer does every day or what kind of engineering. Ask your parents, use your networking to find people in those careers and hang out with them for a couple days. Ask them questions. That's what I love about Career Day. The professionals are coming to you. You don't have to go anywhere. They're stepping into your classrooms or presenting to you virtually. They're answering your questions. And as you guys learn and about your careers, you can really start job shadowing, and that'll help you to decide, is this a career that I want to pursue later on? Is it something I want to go to school for? And so that's very important. I would say this, guys, find a mentor, find somebody you look up to that really inspires you. You know, Generation Z, your guys' age, are very impacted by social media influencers. So maybe it's somebody influencing you through that way: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Find a mentor that cares about you, that's professional in a career development field where they can answer your questions. Or if you have questions or you want to learn more about something, find that mentor. When you guys go to high school, plug in with your career guidance counselors. They know a lot about the college admission process. Maybe you'd like to take a personality test to learn more about yourself, learn about what you're good at. Maybe you're saying, Zach, I don't know what I'm good at. As a freshman, when you guys enter in high school, I recommend you getting with your career counselor, going over there and just giving up some of your time, spending some time with them, talking to them, asking questions. If you can't find a mentor right off bat, your career counselor, your guidance counselors in your high school is the next best step to be your mentor. And find that, connect with them, get with somebody to encourage you guys and help you along the way. Maybe it's even questions as, what courses should I be taking as a high school freshman? What should I be taking this advanced course? Should I be taking this class now because eventually I want to do AP courses because eventually I want to be a doctor? So you can start having these conversations now as you guys get up and go into high school. This is a really easy tip that even adults don't do, but you guys have the power to learn anything if you read a book. And it's such an outdated concept, but it's so true. There's so many great nonfiction books out there. Some of you might love reading fiction books now. There's so many nonfiction books out there. If you will read them, they can teach you about finances. They can teach you about career development. They can teach you about building relationships. They can teach you about developing communication skills. And just think, at your young age, if you read a nonfiction book, how much more educated you'll be about this process. The average millionaire, the study was done over 10,000 millionaires that had made $1 million from their own endeavors. It means they didn't inherit it, they didn't win the lotto, they're a millionaire. They work from the bottom up. It found that of those millionaires, most of them read 4 nonfiction books every month. 4 nonfiction books. So really plug in, find something, books that you really have an interest for, and start reading them today. Entry level jobs. There's jobs that when you guys get older, even now, I was talking to some middle schoolers the other day at a middle school that actually were running their own social media channels. They were working for a company already, trying to gain followers and creating content at a very young age, right? Medical school. Maybe there's an entry level job that you could do right now. Maybe you love animals. We'll go back to the animal example. Maybe it's taking on an entry level job in a shelter. Entry level jobs could also mean nonprofit work. and you say, well, I'm kind of young, Zach, ask your parents. If there's something you're connected to or a mission you want to accomplish or something you want to do, get plugged in. Ask your parents if you can volunteer somewhere, if you can help somewhere. Maybe you start a business on the side or use your social media to your advantage. You guys are probably the smartest generation ever on social media, but use it wisely. I was interviewing an FBI person for my show. So if anybody wants to be in the FBI, that episode's up there. But she recommended, I said, what's some of the qualifications that you need to have before even going to the FBI? And she said they do a look back of everything you've posted on social media, every picture, every text, every message you've sent, every friend you've made. They go through your complete history from every age, from eighth grade on. And I found that amazing because what would happen if we wanted to do a career and something disqualified us? So be careful what you post on social media, guys. It can come back to bite you even when you get older. I've known many people that have posted stuff or said stuff that have later it's gone on to kind of hurt their career. So I would just say use your social media platforms wisely, and that's deviated from this entry level job. But if you guys can find an entry level job where you make a few extra money, let's say you want to own your own business, you want to learn more about business, you love mowing, maybe you love landscaping, start your own lawn mowing business on the side and gain that money maybe during the summer while you're off from school. Is there an entry level job that you can do now to later get to what you want to do later in the future? Ask people around you what you're good at. You might say, Zach, what am I good at? What do I want to do? I remember sitting in your seat in the sixth grade, and I love to present and I love to teach. And even my 4 H teacher in sixth grade said, Zach, we all know what you're going to be doing when you grow up. You're going to be a teacher. And I kind of ignored that. And even though that was in the mirror the whole time, I didn't know what I was good at. I always told people as I grew up, I was like, well, what am I good at? What am I good at in life? I'm not very good at anything. I don't have any strengths. I would challenge everybody. Everybody has unique strengths, they have unique talents, they have unique abilities. Sometimes we don't see it in the mirror. Ask people around you what you're good at. Ask your parents, ask your teachers, ask your guidance counselors, ask your friends, ask your neighbors. Write these down, and I'd be able to identify your strengths. And if your strengths align with a career, that's even better because that might be something you're passionate about later in the future. This is my brother, and I use the veterinarian example a lot because guess what? My brother, this was 2 years ago, came and visited me. He's 23 now, but was really having a hard time finding a job that he was interested in. Even in middle school and high school, he couldn't really find what he wanted to do. He thought at one time he wanted to be an engineer. And like everybody, we just get pigeonholed in the system. We go through the motions, we get our degrees, we graduate middle school, we graduate high school, and we're still not really passionate and know about what we wanted to do. Well, my brother actually took my advice. He found something that was right there in the mirror the whole time. His love for animals. He always loved dogs and cats and he wanted to take care of them. Then he started volunteering at an animal shelter. Then he started working part-time for a friend of his that was a veterinarian. Then he started doing job shadowing. Then he started reading more about his career and he found himself not happy in engineering. And guess what? He just got accepted to veterinary school at Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. So take my advice and put yourself out there too. I challenge my brother to ask questions, to learn from people, to put yourself out there and engage with people. So during this career day, if you have questions, don't be afraid to speak up. Ask those professionals that are coming to your classroom today about their journey. Even if you think it's a silly question, who cares? You'll remember that as you take it on. Learn from where they've been, learn from them now. You guys can follow me on my social media channels. The biggest one that I'm on is LinkedIn. Most of you probably don't have that yet, but I do have Instagram, the Zach Ballinger. You can follow me right on my Instagram as I'm traveling around the country and throughout different countries. I post where I'm at and beautiful pictures of where I can and when I can engage with crowds. And I absolutely love it. Follow me, the Zach Ballinger Facebook. If some of you guys have that, you can follow me on Facebook, facebook.com, the Zach Ballinger. And of course, what I talked to you guys today about is this career library. Or if you have questions about career development, or if you, as you get older, you want to learn more about job interviewing, ZachBallinger.com is the best resource. And what I thought I would do, since I'm already here, I wanted to actually go through the last 15 minutes that I have with you and talk about my career in sales. Now, I'm not in sales anymore, but I really loved it when I first got into it. And as you guys learn about yourselves and you get older, your career development may change. You may decide, hey, I've done that for a certain amount of time. Now I want to do this. But I feel like there's a hidden career out there that you guys don't know a lot about, that you hear a lot about, and you hear maybe from a negative side. And I want to talk about what sales is. Because every time in life that you do something, whether it be business or you represent yourself, or you're maybe interviewing for a high school or a college, you're representing yourself, you're presenting yourself, you're selling yourself, and you don't even realize you're doing it. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. So I started off in my journey. I told you a while ago that I am an author, a career consultant, podcast host, and a speaker. And I started off in sales and business to business sales. And what's business to business sales? It simply means that I'm taking a product and I'm calling on a business, and I've got maybe a product or service. It might be, a service might be a YouTube subscription, or a tangible product might be Hello Kitty. I'm just throwing these examples out there. Something tangibles you sell. It could be a copy machine that you sell to businesses. So that's where I first started my career off, is when I graduated college. I really didn't know what I wanted to do with myself. I went into marketing, and I felt like I could communicate with people, but I didn't really know how to sell, and I learned to sell over the time. And selling is really just listening to people. It's finding a need somebody wants. Sales can be very lucrative. There's many different sales out there types. There's insurance, there's software sales. Sales you could make anywhere from 20,000 a year to uncapped. In other words, so if you're really good at selling, you can make a very good living, and you're selling those products into business. Sales is having a conversation. It's listening to somebody. And I recommend for you guys, if you love something and you're passionate about it, you might be passionate about a particular comic book. You might be passionate about a website. You might be passionate about a content creator. Well, could you sell that into businesses that you're so passionate about? Really believe in the product before you do it and before you align with sales. Because if you're going in there, you want to be passionate, and the customer can see through your intentions. Are you passionate? Is it a service you're selling? And again, we went through the salary ranges, and I talked about what a sales professional can make. The sky's the limit. You usually start out in the 20s when you start in college, but I've known people that have went into sales and they've been really good at it. They formed relationships, because that's another part of it. You're building a relationship to make the sale, and they become very good at it, and they made a very good income doing it. What kind of education or training do you need to be a sales professional? Well, I would highly recommend that you finish college and you go into finish high school, that is, and then graduate college. You might pick a business function. It could be marketing, it could be logistics, it could be economics, management. It doesn't really matter for sales. Sales could have its own major, but I would almost challenge you guys, if you guys are interested in selling, you're interested in presenting as a way of life, and to be a sales professional, almost major in a different function of business, and it can really help you along your career development pathway. You may take some selling courses along the way, maybe some classes in college that how to sell 101 basics. A lot of companies will train you for 101. They know when you guys get out there that you'll need training and skills to have these type of conversations. But if you guys are good at selling, you can be good at most anything in business. And so that's where I really wanted to focus on this career. I think a lot of times we might hear like about bad things. We feel like salespeople might be kind of pushy or intimidating, or we think of a used car salesman, but really that's only one function of sales. A salesperson can be a help to somebody out there. They can offer products or services that someone may need. And so it may be a great way of educating them a part of it. Did I always want to do it? No, I never really thought about sales as a career. It kind of forced me into it at the end. And then when I got out of college, I really enjoyed doing it. I was competitive. So if you guys have a competitive spirit, an entrepreneurialism behavior, if you really want to run your own business or run your territory, if you guys don't like sitting behind a desk all day, that's not what sales is. You can get into that particular sales career. It's called inside sales, where you sit behind a desk and you're on the phone. But when I talk about sales, I'm actually talking about you showing up at a physical location, you're driving there, and you having a conversation with somebody that you're trying to present your product or service to. That's what I mean by a true business to business sales. And so I think some of the great things, the advantages of sales is you're helping your customer pick out a product or a service that might benefit them in the future. You might be passionate about it. A great thing about sales is you're not sitting behind a desk all day. And that could be bad for you. Maybe you like sitting behind a desk all day. But for me, I didn't like to sit still all day. I like to be on the move. I like to be in the car. I like to be moving around. I like to be walking around. So maybe it's something. It usually takes on a type A personality. um, Introverts tend to be sometimes good at sales because they're good listeners. A good salesperson has good listening skills. They listen to their customer, they listen to their needs, they listen to what they're talking about. And the good sales reps actually do less talking and let the customer kind of guide their decision making process. So you learn what to sell them. Some of the challenges of sales, it can be difficult getting rejected. So let's say you're selling a difficult product and you hear no a lot. You have to get used to hearing no. You have to be get used to being told no, or no, that's too expensive. I can't afford it. I don't want that service. I don't want that product. So you have to take on rejection. So that can kind of lead you down some days. Sales is you never may know your income levels, which can be exciting and it can be nervous for a lot of you. If you're commission only sales, maybe you're a realtor. And I think a realtor is a way into sales because you have to represent the home. You have to come out across as a good presenter. You have to give them facts that they like to the house and everything. And then at the end, you have to close the deal. So I think that the income part, although it's the sky's the limit, it could be feast or famine depending on what type of uh, industry you get into. If you're a people person, you love to be around people, that tends to attract sales. Not everybody has to be that. Like I said, there's some introverts that have done very well during the sales process. But I think most of us would probably see a career in sales as somebody that has been extroverted in their life. They really like to meet people, they've like to connect, they've like to network, they like to talk. And so a lot of times that's a perfect marriage. So I just want to end this to say, you guys are in middle school now. I really encourage you guys to go on to of course, to finish high school and finish college. I think college is a great experience. I loved college. I thought that was one of the most fun times I've ever had in my life. Being around my friends, being in the dorm rooms, and I actually lived on campus all 3 years that I was at college. And I really love just meeting people, networking with them, learning from them. I think it's one of the best experiences you guys will ever have in your life. Take advantage of it, go to school, and really soak up the knowledge now. As I said, everything traces back to being a good student. And so that's what you can control right now in your life. And that'll really help you as you guys go into college. It sounds crazy. It really does. You guys are probably sitting there thinking I'm crazy, but the more you learn now, the better it's going to prepare you for high school and college. And I wish I would have been a better student because I really did struggle in college. For me, when I got there, I ended up making a good grade point average. I ended up with a 3.48, but I spent a lot of time studying because I didn't take school that serious. And so I really had to apply myself and really challenge myself to overcome that. So that's what I would say. What motivates me is really helping people. I love to help people with their career paths. It's really a passion of mine to teach and to present, to be up in front of crowds. But the main passion is teaching people something new, a new concept. And the greatest fulfillment I have is hearing the success stories of people that have went on to find a career that they actually love to do. And so I love hearing the stories when somebody has been in college or middle school and they remember a certain career back and they say, you know what, you gave me that idea 3 or 4 years ago, and I really want to do that now. That's really what motivates me and gets me going. I think the most important thing in life is realizing how short life is. Even at your age, as you look out, you may say, well, I've got plenty of time, I've got forever. Really, life is really short. And so we have to make the most of it. And I think what's important is what we do with each and every day of our lives. What are you going to decide to do differently when you wake up? You can change wherever circumstances you're in right now in school. So let's say you haven't been a good student, you haven't been paying attention, you can change all that. I had to change it as soon as I got to college. So you can change that right now. Um, the most important thing that I would say is just summarizing what I talked about here today is as you guys go out today at career day, write down, take notes on people's careers, ask questions, learn about what they do on a daily basis. Ask yourselves, does these things align with something you would like to do? If you find yourself keep thinking it's a really fascinating career, one of the questions I always like to ask, what is something that's challenging about your job? What is something that you hate about your job? What is something that you dislike about it? Because you get to learn fair balances. On the surface level, when I was interviewing the FBI detective, I thought it was really cool. I mean, being an FBI detective, that would be awesome work. Well, she began trying to tell me some of the challenges that she faces. And it amazed me because I didn't even think about some of these things. She talked about having to stay up for 80 hours at one time doing a stakeout where she was in her car and she was sitting there. And it's such a mundane process to be under surveillance. And then another thing where she's seen these horrific crimes that people do. She knows all these bad people are in her neighborhood lurking around her house, or she knows all this stuff. She's got to keep it secret. And knowing that is kind of a burden, or maybe somebody like that she was close to, or somebody that got murdered and she has to work the murder details. So every the career sounds pretty cool on the surface, but I'd really challenge you guys as you go out there at career day, learn about people's career and learn about yourself. And I think that's what really help you. Again, you guys can find me, zachballinger.com. My career library is up there. So if you want to learn more about different careers that are out there just besides today, you'll be able to do that all for free at your fingertips as a career resource and guide. Finally, this is my last piece of advice for you in middle school. Enjoy it, have fun, do extracurricular activities, hang out with your friends, enjoy your studies, enjoy courses, learn to read, learn from each other, spend time with each other, and make the world a better place. And I know that's exactly what you guys will do during your career day at Southridge Tech Middle School. Um, Thank you guys for paying attention to this. I know this is not always an easy format for everybody to pay attention to. Virtually has kind of been tough. I wish I could have been there in person with you guys. Unfortunately, my travel schedule has been kind of crazy. But thank you for giving me the opportunity to sit in here virtually and be with you today, present a career on sales, and give you some tips that may actually help you along your career journey as you guys go out there. I know there's going to be big things on the horizon. Look, we've been through a lot of challenges as a country, as a world. You guys have been through the pandemic. You've had your life shut down. You may have had somebody sick. You might have had family members sick. You might have been sick. There's a lot of bad stuff going on in the world, but I will give you a positive news. This is the best, hottest job market that I have ever seen in my entire life. I don't think that's going to change by the time you guys start graduating high school and college. I really do believe this is your time to shine, your time to find your passion, and your time to find a career that you love. So, with that, take care. Happy career day, and I look forward to meeting you all very soon. Take care.